What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. So, y'all know what time it is. It's time to get the buck out of here. That's what time it is. Alright, so today we are doing the Buck Reaper, the 620. And it comes in two different fashions. You can get the regular 620, which is what I got. Made in the USA. Or you can get the Walmart exclusive edition, which comes with a really nice wood handle, and it's just a little bit more attractive. But we are going with this one. And before we even get started, we're going to go with the dislikes. Before we even go over the measurements, dislikes. It's kind of crappy. Like, it's a good nylon sheath. Like, it's well made, but it's a crappy nylon sheath. So, sheath, no go. Don't like it. However, if you're out in the woods and you're using it for its intended purpose, what does it matter what the sheath is? But I would rather see this thing not in this thing. So, what else don't I like? The nylon molded handle. It's basically plastic. And you can see all those little ribbings for texture, but check this out. And this thing is not a round sheath, I mean a round handle, but I can spin my hand around it, even though it's contoured well, because it's just slick. It's a slick piece of plastic. I do not like that at all. I do not like when they put these cheap plastic grips on there and then they give them fancy names. Ooh, it's molded nylon. Ooh. No, you know what it is? It's cheap crap. That's what it is. Once you get blood and guts on it from an animal, now all of a sudden it's a slippery piece of crap. All right, so the blade itself, however, is a 6 3/4 inch. What's it called? The black traction coated 420 HC, which Buck does so well, and I think it's like 12 inches overall in the whole package. Overall, for me being big, right? This almost feels fake in my hand, right? I mean, this is a 12-inch knife. It looks like a toy. It looks like a 6-inch knife in my hand. But that makes the handle it's kind of narrow, right? You could see it starts out and then it tapers down. By the time you get to here, for my hands, they're way too big. If you have smaller hands or medium hands, this might fit you like a freaking glove, but for me it doesn't. What does that tell me about the blade? Nothing, because the blade itself is pretty sweet. You got this really pretty down sweep, and then it comes to this nice little clip point, and it's swedged, and it's pretty, and it's black, and it's cool. It's choiled, it's finger guarded, it's jimped, has a lot of really cool stuff, and you even have the double lanyard hole so you can make the loop, the hand loop, which is really cool. You got the nice old Buck there, 620. And you know what's funny is I looked real quick. It says 420 USA. In my camera, when I film, it's reversed, right? Because I'm filming at me, so the camera's reversed. Once I'm done filming, I have to go and I have to edit by switching the camera angle around. Otherwise, everything's backwards. When I did this, I saw the 620 USA, and I saw the A and the S, and I thought it said AUS 8, and I'm like, what? This isn't AUS 8? All right, so the edge. Let's go over the edge. Oh. Ooh. This thing's been sitting for quite a while waiting to be reviewed. I think I just got all the hair stuck to my thumb. But man, just like every Buck I own, it came sharp. And speaking of sharp, if you have knives that need to be sharpened, I have now teamed up with Joe M, a world-known knife maker, and we are making our own knife company. Look in my community tab. You will see the logo. I started with a little pencil drawing like this, and then I made it even fancier. We are going to be Twisted Mr. Knives, and we are going to be making some nasty stuff. Also, we're doing knife sharpening. So knife sharpening, it's going to be $15 a knife. You mail it to us with a return shipping. If you live close enough to where you could drive it to me, I will meet you somewhere. And that's how we're doing knife sharpening. So 15 bucks a knife. You just provide a return shipping label, and that's it. And I'll ship it back to you. So the Reaper. Let's get into it. We are going to go right away outside because we don't need to be in here. We're just going to go outside and start cutting. Let's go cut. I have to say, as I'm walking around with this thing in my hand, it almost makes me wish I had smaller hands because it feels nice and bad at the same time, to where I know if my hands were smaller, this would actually feel pretty good. Should we edit out the miss? I don't think so. There we go, because the second one hit. All right, so let's get into it. We already know it's a little shave sharp, but as it cut through the nylon rope sharp, holy crap, that was easy. Not only did it cut through on a simple push cut, but it actually got stuck into the wood just from the push cut. The edges on these guys are really freaking good. Let's do a 4-foot drop test. We'll see how the balance goes and see how she drops. Oh, she drops nice and straight. Nice and straight. I have to say that it's a very attractive knife. I can hear a woodpecker. I want to make sure he's on the tree and not the... Yeah, he's in the tree. Normally I go get a pellet gun, but as soon as I come out with a gun, they start to fly away. It's like they know. All right, let's do a couple hard downward drops. We'll see this tip. We'll test this bite. And, which is pretty nice. See how these handles hold on. I don't know what kind of pins these are, guys. Ugh. But, oh, they're like little Chicago screws. Okay, I didn't even look at first. I kept looking at this side, which looks like that. I flip it over like an idiot, and you see that. So they are Chicago screws. You can see it's got, I want to say maybe a 3.5 millimeter thickness. I'm guessing. It's a nice narrow knife. It's going to be really good for hunting. This is what this thing is going to be really, really good for. It could be good for self-defense too, honestly, with that nice recurve. It's not too bad in that department. So let's find something that we can baton through. I think I found something. All right, let's get rid of that first. Now we can get to work. We can get to work, get busy. Let's get busy, baby. All right, so now the blade being under 7 inches on a thick, I wish I had a thinner piece right here, because I could barely get my edge on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the sides first and give myself some angles to baton through. And what I'm doing is I'm creating, so let's say you have a big fat log, right? And you want a baton because you need firewood and all you have is your knife, you don't have an axe. Look at this. How are you gonna split that, right? You can't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a peak. So I batoned a little piece off, and now I'm gonna baton another little piece off. And it gives me, from what was a big fat piece, now I have this little peak right here, right? This little triangle. So it gives me a little bit more meat, and because I'm going to want a substantial piece to burn, because if it's too thin, it'll burn too fast. So when we're talking about firewood, we want to make sure that the fire is going to last long enough for us to keep warm or for us to cook. So sometimes, you know, to get a fatter piece, you just have to rework your angles, or just get a smaller piece. This is just what I had sitting around, but it just makes it go a lot easier when you're doing something like that. Let's give it another couple of shots here. Here we go. So you can see that you can get them thicker and thicker as you go, and what that'll do is it'll just give me a longer burn later. I'm going to do it one more time. Let's see here. So what I found is that this hunting knife actually goes through the wood pretty easily. I said one more time. Pretty easily. And it's not designed for it, but it's doing it no problem. And you know, just because it's a hunting knife doesn't mean it can't save your life one day doing other things, and other things like batoning. So you see the pieces get a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. This gets a little smaller, and then eventually you'll be able to split it in half. See how that works? Now then, if I split it from here, darn it guys, I was all done. If I split it from here, then what's gonna happen is, now I'm gonna have two pieces that, let's see, if I started too early, I'd have two pieces that would give me a nice long burn. And I think I would have to be hammering on this for a while. Although I'm getting a good split, I can see it here, so it would probably just take me a few whacks to get it going. And then it should be able to split. And what I could do is, I'll show you, there's the split. So then I could bang out my knife, I could flip it over, and I can go the other way because I can see the split is all the way down to here. So it's splitting pretty well. I can take this guy right here and put that in there, and then do this. All right? And get this out of there. Yep. If I get this out of there. Yeah. Hey, remember that time you watched D-Bad pull a knife out of a log for 20 minutes? All right, so there we go. I have that. And now that wedge just opened up that crack all the way to there. So if I want, I can take my knife, I can place it right about there, and I can start going down this way. Now you see how that's splitting? Just because you are at an impasse with your batoning, with your log chopping, doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean, oh, it's time to give up, I can't get through it. There's always a way, fellas and ladies. There's always a way. And you know, sometimes you just have to be creative. I broke my stick. Sometimes you have to be creative, and the payoff is success. And so now you'll see all that. It's getting much bigger. Much bigger. Now the dogs are going crazy because the people are doing the work. Oh, I'm hitting a bunch of knots. I think that's what slowed me down here. All right. So, I gotta get that out of there. There we go. So here goes the, you know, when you don't have an axe on hand, sometimes you do whatever it takes to make it happen. And that's exactly what's happening here, is ingenuity. Ingenuity. So a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And you will see that your crack begins to open, and eventually you're going to be able to just rip it apart. I'm a lefty, I got to turn this around. What I'm doing is I'm using a log to brace the blade so I don't have to hold it. And now, you see what's happening, right? So, you think, wow, that takes a little bit of work. But if you're in a survival situation, a little bit of work is what you might need to do, you know what I mean? Now, you look at that, this is with me stopping and talking and yapping and gapping. You know, I could have got it done a lot faster. But, it doesn't exert too much energy. And at this point, I took a log way bigger than my knife, and I'm able to make firewood. Firewood, guys. So we're gonna test this edge right when I'm done, because obviously this is not what it's made for, but survival situations, when you gotta do it, you wanna know if that 420 HC is gonna keep you alive. So now we just processed an entire log, way too big for that knife, with that knife. How's the coating look? Let's see. Just dirty. It's just dirty. That's it. It's still on there. That black coating really works. I'm gonna bring this stuff in the house. I had no intentions on doing all that work. Shoo, boys and girls. So let's test it. Let's test it. Still sharp. Still sharp. So people like to, especially knife snobs out there, they say, oh, this is a 420 blade. Oh, that's cheap. Oh, it's garbage. Oh, it's useless. It's blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I just went through this entire log, this entire freaking log, and I ended up, rather than with a broken, dull, cheap knife, I ended up with firewood. So to all you knife snobs out there who thinks that 420 HC is garbage because it's 420 HC, well, I got one thing to say to you. Yeah. All right, so, let me show you. Let me show you what kind of stoutness I have going on in my pocket these days. All right, so today, the CRKT Batoning, Batoning, whatever you're gonna call it. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. But wait, that can't be it. No, it's not. Because I can't roll without the D-Bad little big man. I can't roll without the D-Bad little big man. This thing has become a drop in the leaves. This thing has become a D-Bad. I'm trying to do it without knocking down the other knives. Now that happened, I'll just stick it in there. That has become a D-Bad carry all the time knife. Whoo-wee. All right. Put this one back in the pocket. Put this one back in the belt. And let's take the other one and go swat some stuff. Let's go swat some stuff. I got some stuff worth swatting. All these trees down. Man. I got some missing dogs here. Hey, up in the yard. Oh, I see him. Get up here. Let's see, that's one of them. Where are you? There. You see how fast he came around that corner? So I didn't do it. I'm not in trouble. All right, so let's go over here. Let's go over here and start a little chop action. All right, I might have to raise you up. No, I think you guys are good. You guys are good. So, again, not a chopper. Let's see how she does. Woo! I have to say, for me, that skinny grip makes for pinching on my hand when I chop. So what I'm doing is going all the way to the end. Try and save some of my hands from being pinched. But, especially you smaller hand people, you're gonna find out that this little mother can actually chop. It's that recurve that is just, it's tearing it up. I'm gonna show you. Wow. Let's get you guys a little closer to the action here. You can see the hole. I hope you can see it because I can't see the sun behind you. But look at this. Wow. So apparently this thing chops way better than I would have ever thought it could. Way better. That was actually nice. That was nice. Like, girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what we're told. Boys are made of like boogers and pond scum. Hey, I like pond scum. All right, so let's see. Oh, Oh, look how nice that was. This thing's moving all over the place on me. So I'm gonna shave with a little bit and knock them all off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some pull cuts, and we'll try to keep some of them on there so you guys can see. Oh yeah, oh, I just dropped one. But I'm trying to keep them all together, get the swoops, get the Nike symbols here. And you can see feathering is gonna be no problem. No problem. Look at this. Look at this. Gosh, that's so much better than I would have ever thought it would be. So much better. So we know about this buck. What do we know about this buck? We know that this buck can chop. We know that this buck can be batoning with. We know that this buck will obviously go through an animal. It's pretty much what it's made for. We know that it'll carve and slice and dice. Ooh-wee. This is a pretty good little knife. And little, I mean, it's still a 12-inch knife, but it's just little in my hand for some reason. Well, obviously there's a reason, but if it didn't feel small, I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's hard because not everybody has the same hand size, and if I try to discredit the knife by feeling the hand, then somebody else is going to feel it and go, what was he thinking? This is amazing. If you have smaller hands than me, then I can pretty much guarantee you're going to like the way this fits in the hand. And so far, the nylon hasn't bothered me too much, but it's still slick. It's, I mean, just feeling it, it's slick. Good thing is they're Chicago screws, so if I want, I can go and get myself some micarta or some other kind of material, and I could just make myself some new scales. And they might even sell aftermarket. Who knows? I didn't look, but it wouldn't be too hard to just make up some. This so far is a winner. The Buck Reaper. And I know that, you know, I don't know if Buck still has them on their webpage, but they're still out there online because I did look today. I wanted to see, is this an available knife? And the reason I had to look is because I have had this for almost a year sitting waiting to be reviewed because I have a whole bunch. And so I wanted to make sure that in that year, if these things didn't go out of sales, but you can still get these. The recurve, it's just a great fit. It's just a great fit as far as what you need to do with it. The edge is beautiful. You're not going to get a rusting on this because it's 420HC. This is going to be a blade that is going to stay sharp for a while, and when it's time to resharpen, it's going to be very easy. It's going to be it'll be $15 easy. All you got to do is mail it to me. So, Donnie B all day from the new Twisted Mr. Knives says that this is actually pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I only wish it was a little bigger for me, at least in the handle, but I can't let that take away from this knife being good. It's just good. I like it. I dig it. So that's it. I'm gonna go wash it and then put it in its cheap sheath, and that's it. I am Donnie B all day, and until next knife.